Pretty much at this point. All right, looks good. Can you hear it? Alrighty, nice, nice. Let me make sure you're on though. Hold on, I think I forgot to set yours up. All right, you should be good.
I think, yeah, we're out.
We're up and running, guys. We are up and running. Beautiful. First
Woo!
shot.
We're getting.
First
It's
shot.
like, it's like you're getting better at this.
I know, right? I think I have some practice on me. I don't know. What do you think, man? Do you think I have enough practice to say I'm officially a full time streamer?
I think so. I think you have a couple weeks under your belt.
I think I have a couple of weeks. I think so. But the layout, I'm loving my new layout that we got going on here. Soto 619, because Soto 619 WTP blue and red. You know, I had to put the Raw logo, SmackDown logo, because this man just like one day he'll create the logo for us and we'll
One
have the
day.
official logo for WTP versus Soto 619. Unless you want to be technical like him, Soto 619 versus WTP.
Yeah, shouldn't that be on the left side?
It is what it is, my brother. It is what it is. You know, you're here.
Yeah.
Now you're just throwing shade. I work hard at this, okay? I work hard at bringing our logos and stuff together, you
Yeah, it looks
know?
good.
And then I see you hung up belts, man. Nice. I love
I
it.
finally did. I got one belt in the background. Have some other belt hangers on the way. Got
I
some stuff
love it.
behind me. Got
I
a.
love it.
This is actually a comic book of my dog.
You made a
But it's
comic
not of.
book
It's not a. It's not of him. It
or
just
somebody
looks
drew it
like
for
him.
you? Oh,
No, no,
somebody
no.
it looks like.
It's a real comic book. Speaking of Dobby, he's barking right
I
now.
can
If you
hear
can't
it
hear him,
now.
yeah,
I hear it.
he hears us talking about him.
He's like,
No,
"Hey,
it's a real comic book. It just happened to have what looks like him on the
he's like
cover, so I bought it.
he's like if y'all gonna use my name and my likeness, I need to get paid for this, guys.
Right?
Y'all can't just
That's
use me
exactly it.
in y'all shows." But man, let's jump right into it because we are actually doing a different flow than normal. We're not going to be recapping every single thing that happened on both three shows, whatever. We're definitely not talking about Bash because that's already been over almost a week, and I think everyone's tired of talking about Bash, especially with the mediocrity of what it was. Let's be real. Like, it was a mediocre show. NXT outdid them. And we're not going to get into the full details, but if you watch both shows, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Hell, even Emergence did better, in my opinion. But that's another topic for another day, my boy. I really want to dig into your thoughts because we've been talking on the phone these past few days, texting back and forth. And you've been telling me how next week you're going to SmackDown because you'll be in Washington, from what I'm getting from you.
that's right. Next Friday night, September 13th, Friday the 13th. But
Wow,
it's it.
bad juju all over that, but okay. At least it's not
I,
October.
yeah, I know, right? I'll be flying to Seattle, and I will be going to the first episode of SmackDown on the USA Network. So I'm excited. Lots. I'm sure. Lots. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely they're gonna pull out a lot next week, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying it's just another show. Like, no, it's not just another show. For the first time in forever, all three shows of WWE will be on the same week on the same, channel. When was the last time we ever had that? What, like 7 years ago, something like that?
Dude, I can't even put a timeline to it. It's been a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely been a long time, but for sure, I'm ready to see what they do here. I'm ready to see what they bring to us next week because if you pay attention to the rumor mill, if you pay attention to it at all, they are talking about some possible returns this month. And I see two happening next week, maybe three, four, who knows? Because it's rumored that Charlotte Flair has been cleared. And the last time we saw her, obviously she was in the ring, did a bad landing, tore her ACL, and has been out since what, before WrestleMania?
For sure before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So it's crazy to think that she's been out for almost 9 months already. We all thought, SummerSlam would have been the day she came back, but I guess they had other plans. And of course, it makes sense for her to come back to, possibly come back for her title that she's always
Ooh.
claimed, especially against someone she's very familiar with in Nia Jax. What are your thoughts on her maybe coming back?
I think it's going to be good for business. I think it'll be good to see the Queen, not Queen Nia Jax. I mean the Queen. I think it'll be good to see Charlotte versus Nia Jax. Um, Especially, they're going to definitely throw in that Queen title in there. But I'm excited. It should be good. There's a lot of speculation. We had talked about it a couple weeks ago, where the very first time that they moved to, I believe, the Fox network, um, we had a big show, and like I'm pretty sure that was the one with Eddie Guerrero in a cage match fighting for the WWE Championship.
Something
It
along
was
those lines.
something along the lines
I
of that, right?
remember.
It was like them transitioning from Thursday nights to Friday nights. Something. It was a big change. So
Yeah.
so I'm assuming that this one's going to be just as big. They want those ratings to be really high. They want, we've been expecting Jimmy, we've been expecting Charlotte, we've been expecting Roman, we've been expecting so many people, and hopefully one, two, three, or all of them show up.
Oh yeah, because Jimmy has also been cleared, and fans have been wanting him to come back. Obviously, right? Um, I think next week it happens. Just my prediction, because you've obviously seen who they've been promoting for next week's show because you bought your ticket and you get those emails and notifications, right?
Yeah, but then they stopped promoting it. So you know,
Obviously, maybe a setback due to the fact that Roman's father Sika and then Alpha have both passed, his uncle, so they may have kind of paused the promoting him. But knowing Roman being the professional he is, he could be showing up still. I don't see him not showing up. Obviously, because his family have been involved in wrestling for many, many years, so they know the show must go on. Not to be a jerk about it, but that's just the facts of how they think. Especially if like some of the biggest names is what The Rock. Show must go on. Obviously, Rikishi and another a lot of big names, right?
hmm
But I think Jimmy comes back, Roman comes back, and who knows, we might be seeing the Wise Man coming back. Just those three dudes coming back would mean a lot, especially for that show for the ratings aspect. I mean, what are your thoughts if we hear that voice, ladies and gentlemen?
oh, Paul Heyman,
Oh yeah,
that'd be a good one too. I've been wanting him to come back too. Um, yeah, hopefully we see Paul Heyman soon. Um, I know it's a long shot, but I'd love to see The Rock show up again too. Just as a transition. I mean, he did bring Friday night SmackDown to light, right? He brought that catchphrase to light.
well, he brought the entire show to life.
That's what I'm saying.
The SmackDown logo or slogan was him. The SmackDown
hmm
Hotel. Take you down to Jabroni Boulevard and check into the SmackDown Hotel. This man would
Yep.
put his hat on mid show.
It's hot, dude. It's
It's
hot. That's
hot.
why.
I couldn't believe it, man. You live in Cali. I live in Texas. At least
yeah.
we're not in Arizona where it's burning hot. Like we would be. I'd be like, man, Soto, just go to sleep, bro.
Yeah.
You're
Right
burning, but
now, for everybody who doesn't know, this the place that I'm in right now that you're watching me, it's 100 degrees in here, and I'm still doing this. So I'm gonna be hydrating throughout this show,
the
but it's still a
dedication
good
to
time.
the dedication to wrestling. I love it. Like this is what we need Soto to come out and say these things. Like he's dedicated to wrestling like that.
Always, always. I still put on a show.
But yeah, but for you, again, what is the biggest thing you're waiting for next week? Like, just let us know
Um,
what you're waiting for as a fan and paying his money for a ticket to go to next week's big event.
Honestly, just seeing Roman. He's the biggest thing in wrestling. Even though he's not there on a weekly basis, he's still the biggest thing in wrestling. Even John Cena said that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, and I just want to
Honest,
see that storyline continue. You know, we're obviously going to see the bloodline show up tomorrow. We have Solo and Cody tomorrow, um, and that's going to continue. But you know, Roman was put through a table by his own, you know, family tree.
I see Tin Man in the comments saying he wants to see Roman talk. That's a
Yeah, I
big
want to see Roman talk
possibility. I
for
think that's
sure.
a very big possibility. He will cut a promo in some kind of fashion, whether he has his mouthpiece with him and Paul Heyman, or he comes out and just tells Solo, acknowledge me, something along those lines. I think they don't have him talk right now because they want everyone to wait for those.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good show. Next Friday, out of all three shows, I'm looking forward to the most because we know that they want those ratings to be high. Like I said, and they're gonna pack it. And then we have no PLEs in
In September.
September. Yeah, so this is probably the biggest, you
Biggest
know,
move.
SmackDown. Yeah, biggest move, biggest SmackDown of the month. Um, I definitely think their ratings are going to shoot up. And what we have Bad Blood coming up, so they're going to build up to Bad
Oh
Blood.
yeah,
And what's after what's what? Yeah, what is after Bad Blood?
pretty much Survivor Series. Which didn't you tell me something about that too? Survivor
Actually,
Series.
sorry, after Bad Blood, there is a Saudi show.
Everyone, I mean, I keep forgetting about those. They really they haven't announced it really or promoted
It's
it
in
anything yet.
November. Yeah, it's in November.
Is it Crown Jewel again, or is it?
I don't know. I don't remember the name, but yeah, it's sometime in November,
It's
early
one of those
November.
two shows, right? They do Crown Jewel and another one, right?
Yeah, so we'll have two PLEs. Um,
Mark Muniz is saying Crown Jewel, but we can
Crown Jewel, yeah.
confirm later
It's
on.
like the first. No, I remember because I requested time off for it. It's the first Saturday of. I, th- I think it's November 2nd. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it's November 2nd.
most likely, I will try to do my best to get that weekend off as well to stream that because it will be a day show again for
Of
sure.
course,
Like probably around 10 in the morning.
early in the morning. Yeah,
Because last time it was what your time, almost
I
eight or
think it was
10 in the morning.
eight in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah, because my time it's about 10 or 11 Central Standard Time. Yes,
yeah.
Crown Jewel
Crown
on the
Jewel,
November 2nd is what Mark Muniz
correct.
said. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's just one of
Uh,
those fun, what I call fun pay-per-views because sometimes they don't really
no
elevate the
stories.
storylines.
No
You know,
stories. It's just like,
sometimes.
you know, one time Shawn Michaels, Triple H, which no one talks about no more, but I'm gonna bring it up. They got Shawn Michaels to come back. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they just have a lot of what if matches. Like, oh man, I didn't know we needed to see that. Obviously, Logan versus Roman happened at one of those things, and Logan did pretty good. I will give him credit in this last one, but you know, that's later on of those shows. But next week we talked a lot about next week on SmackDown, but obviously there's some stuff on Raw that's happening, especially for next week. This week we didn't get to see Bronson Reed, Mr. Tsunami. Big Bronson. He was out with an illness we can't disclose on TikTok because they frown upon that. But yeah, he was pulled from his match, and then obviously saw Braun Strowman take his place, win the matchup, which I honestly think that should have been Bronson Reed's spot. It's kind of a bummer. It happens, I guess, in this day and age with everything happening. But are you enjoying the stuff they're doing with Bronson Reed? Like, I haven't had a chance to ask you about it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I like it. I think that this is what I see happening. I see Big Bronson Reed showing up during Braun Strowman's match and then just laying him out, taking him out, doing something to where he's like, that was my spot, you know? And they're going to continue their feud back and forth because the two of them, you know, feuding, I think is going to be great. I like the way that it started and it's just going to continue. Big Bronson Reed, I think, will have a singles title one day, but I think right now with what he's got with Braun Strowman, it's going to be a good thing.
No, I agree with you. Obviously, Bronson Reed is not going to let that down. Like, he's going to come out and say, that was my spot. I think he's gonna beat him down. I think he's gonna beat up everybody in the match, not just Braun Strowman. He's gonna tsunami him though, at least 6 or 7 times. And I know me and Jimmy have dabbled into that storyline as well. Unfortunately, he's not here today, but he's out having a good time watching Beetlejuice or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's. I was like, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be out today." I'm like, "Oh, Beetlejuice." He's like, "Yeah," but
Nice.
nah. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see the Monster Among Men versus Big Bronson Reed again because their last matchup was pretty dope. I liked it. I liked
Yeah.
how it ended. Um, yeah, so I can't wait to see what they do next week with him coming back. Obviously, it is going to be a interesting segment, and it is going that matchup with Braun Strowman's going to end in a DQ or something. Maybe he wins, and then
Yeah.
after the match, he comes out and gets him.
Either way, I'm excited for those two to continue their feud. I think we'll end up seeing a street fight or a backstage brawl, something with them along the lines of what they were getting into during their first week, because that normal match ended up in a backstage brawl, street fight, parking lot, whatever you want to call the match. It was pretty chaotic, and it obviously didn't end. There was no contest, so we'll see where it goes from here, right? Because I guess it's technically 0-0.
Oh yeah, 0-0 because no one won.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm enjoying that right there because I actually told Jimmy like their matchup needs to end with no clear winner, even though there was a clear winner, but no actual winner, and then they can feud at least 2, 3 more matches. And there's
Right.
there's something similar happening with another feud like that. Mr. Punk and Mr. McIntyre obviously have 1-on-1 now. Everyone thought that was over, um, and then obviously they came out and continued it.
Yeah,
Um,
well, Punk tried to get away from it. You saw how he was like, "I'm going to go after Gunther for the world title," and then Gunther didn't even respond. He didn't even come out to it. There
yep.
was no segment with Gunther. Punk was just like, "I'm going after that world title," and then ended the segment. But then we saw that surprise attack from Drew.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not over, and a lot
No,
of fans are like, "This is boring. I'm tired of it," and blah blah blah. But there's only one individual's opinion I care about when it comes to stuff like that. Mr. Bully Ray Dudley from the Bust Open podcast because
what do you say?
he brought up some good points. Because when he heard that they're gonna do the last man standing match is what they're doing, right? Or what was it? Something along
Sorry.
those something along those lines. Like he brought up the good point. He's like, some wrestling fans, not all, some wrestling fans today have these short attention spans. They don't like
Mm,
these long feuds. They don't like the long storylines. And you have to see it from a business standpoint and a storytelling standpoint. If they rush these things, then people complain about that.
of course.
And then they're like, "Oh, they're not telling stories. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing." But with Punk and Drew, they've developed a very personal feud with them, even though there's photos being leaked with them all the time, being buddy buddy, right? But at the end of the day, they're out there doing a job and they're actually doing something on TV that we haven't seen in a while. Like let's be real, we haven't seen no one, you know, get busted up open on TV in a while. And the past few times Drew and Punk have gotten into it on TV, what has happened? Someone leaves with some blood on their face, especially in Bash in Berlin, for example. Haven't seen that in a while, and Punk got busted open. So the personal feud that's going on, they finally got rid of the bracelet. I'll give them that. They finally got rid of that freaking bracelet that they've been fighting over.
It wasn't the real bracelet, by the way.
I know, I'm sure, but they finally got
Yeah,
rid of it storyline wise.
yeah.
Like I'm
It was
enjoying
funny.
seeing it.
Yeah, I saw one thing. It was a joke, right? But it said professional wrestling, where we see two guys fighting over a bracelet on Raw and two guys fighting over a necklace on SmackDown. And I was like, damn, what?
And,
Those are the facts, but they have meaning.
and then I saw another one similar to that. Like WWE where bracelets mean more than the titles. I was like,
Exactly. That's pretty much
damn.
what I
Like,
saw too.
yeah, I was like, dang.
No,
Uh,
but I like the three matches. I like
but
because typically it goes 1-1, and that's where we get the third match.
in all honesty,
Um,
though, if they want this feud to end the right way, I would have preferred to see a best 2 out of 3 in like an actual matchup. Because Bad
right.
Blood, uh, want to say we've seen it before there or Survivor Series. I can't remember exactly which one. We've seen 2 out of 3, falls. And they could start off with stipulation number one, regular match, second one, hardcore or whatever, and third match, steel cage. Like they can do
That'd be
stuff like
cool.
that because we've seen Stone Cold, Triple H do that before, way back
Right.
in the day, and there was an epic matchup with them two guys because they just hated each other. I think a lot of fans remember the whole Stone Cold and Triple H couldn't touch each other until the matchup where they got fired or something, and then Stone Cold would come out and troll Triple H by stunning Stephanie. Triple H with pedigree, Jim Ross, like stuff like that was pretty dope, and that kind of reminds me of that in a way. Like these guys hate each other so much that it would come down to them trolling each other if AJ Lee was there or Larry,
Yeah.
who by the way was on a shirt this past Monday.
Cute dog.
Kind of looks.
Uh,
I don't know. I haven't seen the full picture, but I know it's like a pug or something. Can't
I
remember.
think so. Yeah.
My cousin has a
Ooh.
pug.
Real quick, Mark was talking about Tiffany cashing in, um, Nia being 2 times women's tag champion with Tiffany. I had brought this up before. I said that I want Tiffany and Nia to go after the tag titles and be tag team champions, because I want to see Tiffany cash in on Nia while they are tag team champions together.
And I will
Um,
vouch he did say that
I
when
said that
she
weeks
won.
ago.
When
Yeah,
when
weeks
she
ago.
won it, you said it. Or
Mm-hmm.
when she won it like that week on our
Money in
show,
the
you
Bank.
said it.
Yeah.
Like I want to see this
Um,
develop.
I think it'd be dope. Like just giving us that Eddie and Ray feud, right, where they were tag team champions and they fought each other at WrestleMania for fun, but then it turned into a not so fun thing afterwards. I think it would just be chaotic and great to be like, well, we're tag team champions, but I also screwed you over and became champion. No, I'm not saying to cash in on the tag titles. I'm saying that
It would be
Tiffany and Naya.
it would be interesting to see them win those titles together and then cash
Correct.
in on Naya. That's
Correct.
what he's
Yeah,
saying.
that's
I got you,
exactly
bro.
what I'm saying. Hmm. Anyways, I wanted to answer that real quick, but we can keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, there's several storylines going on right now, and then with all the shows next week, um, another one that's happening on NXT. I know you don't keep up with it as much, but obviously we're gonna see some TNA stuff over there. And one of them being is that Jordan Grace is doing an open challenge at NXT next week. What do you think
That's
of that?
cool. I think it's cool. I mean, obviously, I don't see her losing,
Nah, I don't
um,
think so either.
but I really want to see. I really want to see. I want to see a title change. On
Something.
whether it's TNA, see the NXT, one of the NXT titles switch on TNA's network, see a TNA title switch on NXT's network, whatever. I just want to see some change because it's almost like too predictable that
That no one's walking out with either championships.
exactly, like give me some change, like make us talk, like you're getting us to talk, but we're like, it's too predictable. You're gonna give us too many title matches, and we're all gonna, I guess, not care enough because there's no title changes.
Yeah, true. Um, and then obviously, neither company wants their own titles to be lost to another company. I think that's what it's
Of
coming down
course.
to. But I think Triple H would be willing. Then of course TNA would be willing to do something if something like that were to happen.
Hmm.
Obviously Triple H is open to business or open for business. My bad. I don't think he would have a problem if someone with a big name, just a name like Joe Hendry, were to walk away with a title from NXT.
He should
But
have.
it would just make sense to have him have that title because he's pulling almost triple duty. One day you see him in TNA, next day you see him in NXT. Some days you'll see him on an indie show. Then he's all over social media. Like that would be just good publicity for everybody to have a guy
Smart
like John
guy.
Henry win. Yeah, and then of
Smart guy.
course Jordan Grace, if she had won the women's NXT title, they could have had her doing double duty as well. Because just yesterday we saw her at Chris Van Vlet's combine. She won a speed test or something like that, or the speed challenge. I can't remember what it was, but she had won it. And that just right there just shows that she's everywhere too, like not just on TNA. Then she's all over social media. So in the future, I think we will see something like that. But I don't see nobody winning her title next week, even though it could be a possible match with her and Wendy Chu. Because today she got attacked after her matchup against Carmen and her open challenge on TNA, and the pillow was left in the ring after the lights went out, and Rosemary was obviously in the stands laughing about it. So be ready for next week. That could be happening. And then, of course, they got the Pete Dunne Trick Williams match. I believe Last Man Standing. Their matchup this past week ended by a double countout because they both went through the table and the ref was counting. And then the fans were actually upset about it, saying, "You suck, ref," which is funny. So yeah, that's another storyline I'm interested in seeing, especially with Pete Dunne pulling double duty with Sheamus and Trick.
I know. I saw that he showed up on there too. Real quick, non wrestling related.
Yeah,
I know you like music. I like music.
of course.
Um, today,
Your
September
album
5th.
dropped. Your album dropped.
No, today, September 5th, Linkin Park had a special 1 hour show. They're my all time favorite band of all time. I've seen them multiple times. I saw Chester. Um, anyways, they have their new lead singer, and
The
her
girl won.
name,
The girl got it.
her her name is Emily Armstrong.
Oh, nice. I was actually going for her.
Yeah, so they had a whole hour performance. I watched the whole thing. They have a new music video. They have a new album dropping, I think, November 15th. But I'm excited. They announced a 6 day world tour,
Oh,
ranging
six
from,
dates.
yeah, 6 dates: LA, New York, London, and three other places around the world. Um, but next Wednesday, 9/11, they are having their show in LA, and I would love to go. So hopefully I can go.
Brother man,
So
you
anyways,
better get your over there.
dude, there I went to after Chester passed. I went to the memorial show, and man, I was in tears for that whole show.
Man.
But it was great to go to. So anyways, non wrestling related, I just want to throw it out there because they're my number one favorite band. They've always been my favorite band. I just too excited to not share about it. I've talked about it with everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. You need to go if you get the opportunity. Anytime someone brings up stuff like that to me, I'm like, if you got it and you have the chance, go for it. What are you going to sit here and debate about it for?
For
You know,
sure.
because obviously you're a big fan and they're making a history making moment. When was the last time they actually went on tour?
So he passed away 7 years ago.
So it's been a
And
while.
and 7 years ago was the memorial date because they canceled their tour that they were going to go on with Blink 182.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the last show that they had together as a band was at the Rose Bowl 7 years ago.
So yeah, I mean, definitely I would go if you got the chance.
Yeah, man.
Just like you kept telling me you want to go to SmackDown, I was like, go for it.
Yeah, I want to go to
What are we debating
SmackDown.
for? Then you
I
said
want to go to
Survivor
Survivor
Series.
Series. I want to
Let's
go.
do it.
I want to
Go for
go
it.
to WrestleMania. I just want to do it all, man.
'Cause I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this multiple times. The day that this takes off for us, WTP and Soto 619 become the household names that we are becoming. I'm speaking into existence. I'm gonna be going to all that stuff. I'm
Hell yeah.
Like Soto, you better meet me there, bruh. You better meet me there.
Be flying all over the world.
Oh yeah, that's the plan, Mr. Worldwide,
So,
Mr. Soto
anyways,
619.
that's what I wanted to share. Uh,
But nice,
I
nice.
couldn't not share my favorite band, even if this is just a wrestling podcast.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can talk all kinds. Lincoln Park, obviously, for a lot of us misfits growing up, because we know wrestling fans are misfits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lincoln Park was the band, like the go to band for us.
For
And
sure.
I've listened to all their albums, the Jay Z and Linkin Park collaboration. I got that album on my playlist. Like I would play it right now if I could, if I wasn't afraid of Mr. Copyrights. but uh, but yeah, that's dope, man. But for sure, this week in wrestling, we have a long week next week, my friend. It's gonna be
I
a lot
know.
of shows. Soto will be here streaming Monday and Friday next week. Or no,
Friday I
not
will be out of the
Friday.
show,
He will not
but
be here next Friday.
I
But
might be streaming it from the show. So
if
we'll
they let
see.
you, but he will be here this Friday, tomorrow, and he will for sure be here Monday. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure you check him out. Obviously, your boy WTP will not be here Friday, but I'll be here Monday and Tuesday. Hopefully, be able to join y'all again on Thursday night for some more TNA. If you don't know, I'm starting to do the TNA thing, which I've
Yeah.
always been a fan of, and I wish I could talk to you about TNA, but I know you don't watch it as much as other shows.
Not really.
They
I
did
get
have
a
a
lot
good
of
show.
wrestling to already do, so sometimes it's hard to do NXT and TNA.
I mean, a lot. There was quite a bit of people in my live earlier, and it was actually a good show.
That's good.
Um, Joe Hendry was there. You saw that he lost due to Josh Alexander, which I'm gonna talk. Let's do something different today, Soto. Somebody asked me in my life, like, who would I pick from TNA and WWE to do a collab with? Like, which two guys would I want to see? And I had picked Josh Alexander and Chad Gable for obvious reasons. Both guys really great in the ring, could probably do one hell of a matchup. Now, a few weeks ago, you asked what game should we play, and this is the game we're gonna play: fantasy booking. Right? Let's do a fantasy booking from Soto 619 real quick, and next week we'll do WTP.
I don't really know who's in TNA other than like
Well,
Nick
no, you don't have
Nemeth
to
and Joe
just be
Hendry.
TNA, right? Don't have to be
Oh,
TNA.
okay. Got
In
you.
all the wrestling right now, if you could pick
Okay.
2 stars, male, female, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
2 stars, tag teams, whatever, who would you put together to have matches against each other, and what kind of matches? And
Mm.
then explain why.
Let me see. That's a good question. It's right on the spot. Oh man.
I see Wiccan already got something, our truth and Santino.
Yeah, I saw that. That'd be funny.
Just little
Um,
promos.
I think they're already leaning down to this, but I can't wait for Jay versus Dom.
Oh,
I
Jay
think
Uso
that's
versus Dom.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's actually something I'm looking forward to be honest. But if I have to create something out of thin air that doesn't already have a storyline, I would want
Something
to
just
see.
out of thin air, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, out
It
of
can be
thin
just
air.
WWE if you want to do just WWE. It's up to you.
Yeah. Okay. I think I want to see. I'd like to see Brock Lesnar come back.
Okay.
I'd like to see Brock come back, and I want to see him go after Braun.
Which Braun?
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
want to see. It's
For
definitely a fantasy booking because right now he's inactive. So
for
I want to
obvious
see.
reasons.
Yeah, I mean, the two big guys, and I think it'd be a good passing of the torch. Yeah, I think Braun should win ultimately, um, but it'd also be kind of cool to see Brock go for a mid card title.
It doesn't even have to be for the title, in my opinion. That's
True.
your booking, though. This is your booking.
Yeah.
Um, it would be a nice sight to see Brock actually do something like that. You know, Everyone complains that he doesn't put people over, but he actually does.
Right.
Just him showing up, for whatever talent he shows up for, puts them over for that moment. And Braun Breaker's one of those guys that's going up. His stock is always going up every day. For obvious reasons, dude's a pure athlete. Former football player. He's a Steiner. Like, let's be clear, he's a Steiner at the end of the
Right.
day. Not a breaker, he's a Steiner. and it shows just from his genetics, his athleticism, his power, everything. So him going against Brock would actually help him in a big way, and especially if he got over on Brock Lesnar. So that's actually a good one, and I'm sure a
I
lot of people have
also
thought of that too.
I also would love to see Kurt Angle come back, not in a match necessarily, but be a manager for probably Alpha Academy, because I think it would piss off Chad Gable. Because I feel like Chad Gable would be like, "You're my idol. You should be with me, with American Made." Or maybe we get heel Kurt Angle, and then he's with American Made. So
Or what you said with he should be with me and blah blah blah. Maybe he goes and says something along the lines of, "Well, I like the caterpillar more than the crybaby over here." Something like that, because But then he'd be like, "Well, didn't you do the same?" Because back then, Kurt Angle was a wine bag.
yeah, I think it'd be cool to see them
Have
all
something.
come on. Yeah,
But I mean, I think that's all we got today because we've went through a lot
I
in the
know, man.
short
We went
time we've
through
been on here, and we
quick.
did something different. If y'all noticed, we didn't just go through straight through all these shows. We talked wrestling.
That's
We
exactly
actually
how
had
it
a
should be.
conversation because we
Yeah,
have a lot more storylines to cover. Especially with the women's division and tag team division. But that would take us all day. Uh, but maybe we can talk later on about maybe bumping it up to 2 shows a week. Maybe. Maybe Sunday
yeah.
segments because I'm off
We'll
every
see.
Sunday.
I'm not. I actually work all day this Sunday from like 10 to 7.
This week I'm off.
Yeah, I mean,
This weekend
uh,
I'm off. I'm actually off on a weekend, non wrestling related.
oh, tomorrow I'm gonna be live for SmackDown. Obviously normal time, 5 to 7. But as soon as I'm done here, I'm literally gonna try and record my recap. I might not get to it, but I'm gonna Zoom and I'm crossing the border, going to TJ, and there's gonna be Lucha Libre tomorrow. It's called The Crash. So if you want to look into it, it's called The Crash Lucha Libre. It is gonna have three former WWE superstars. I was debating on either going to the meet and greet and meeting these three WWE superstars or live streaming SmackDown. I chose SmackDown over the meet and greet. But anyways, these three superstars that are going to be there are Mustafa Ali.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to walk with Elias and Matt Riddle.
Wow. Okay. I want to say, didn't I hear something about Matt versus Mustafa or something like that? Or was I wrong on that one?
I don't know. I don't know what the card is. All I know is
But
some
you're
of
going to that
the
show tomorrow night right after SmackDown.
correct right after SmackDown.
I always forget you're 2 hours behind me.
Yeah.
Because, here in Texas, that when SmackDown's over, it's like 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah. For
And
me,
it's
it's seven
over at
o'clock.
7. So you got time because you live right down the street from TJ, right?
It's about a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive, but yeah, it should be a good show. It doesn't start till 8:30, so hopefully I have enough time to cross over and get into my seat.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
But anyways, I should be live for that as long as the service is good. I should be live for the crash. So keep
Hopefully you
your eyes
got
open for
that.
that.
Hopefully you got the AT&T because I know it works in that area. Or that cricket. Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored in any kind of way. I'm just throwing it out there.
So anyways, tomorrow's a slam packed wrestling. Obviously SmackDown and then the
It's been
crash
a
Lucha
slam
Libre.
packed. It's been a slam packed week. I didn't even catch AEW because I had the kids, but I'm sure I would have watched that too. It feels like I'm starting to watch more and more wrestling every day. It's becoming a
Dude,
full time job, guys.
it
Think
is.
about subscribing or hitting that follow button on all platforms. But this was fun.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Thanks.
Make sure y'all follow Soto619. Like he said, he'll be here tomorrow on TikTok to watch some SmackDown with him, and then right after some Lucha Libre. But as
For
always,
sure.
guys, you guys take it easy. We will catch y'all next time.
All right, buddy. I'll see you later.